Yo, what is up, friends, foes, and members of the Omni Council? My name's Daimien Kamiya, I'm the Omni King, and I'll admit, I fell a little bit behind, which is why it started a few minutes late, and then I got distracted. But I'm here. Little bit, so I no information to tell you about. I just assumed the weekend's so busy, I haven't heard it back yet, which is perfectly fine, I understand that. Additionally, I've been thinking, I know I've talked about this before on stream, but I'm thinking about potentially multi-streaming on Twitch. YouTube will always be my home, and it will always be my priority, but just to have a second audience, I feel like would be really nice. I'm still looking into it. I got some time to figure it out because I was talking to May, or try again, a friend of mine. She streams on Twitch. She's an artist. If I do it, I will likely debut it on my anniversary, which, for those that don't know, is November 22nd. From there, we will figure out, we'll figure it out from there, see how it works, and if I like it or not. And if not, then I will, I'll stop, but I feel like worst case, it doesn't hurt me to do it, right? Just got to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. If you're wondering how I'd manage that on stream, I'll just have chat on one side, I'll basically YouTube I'll keep the same chat window and just have YouTube on the bottom and Twitch on the top, and kind of split them. But that's just kind of the plan. I don't know how well it'll work out, but right now I just stream for fun, so okay, so that's... I was always wondering, because I know Twitch had policies against multi-streaming as long as you were being paid, right? But then they opened that, but the last I heard, when they opened that, they just made it so it's you can stream on other platforms, you just can't do it at the same time. But evidently they've loosened that since, I guess, last year. It says November 14th, 2023 is the article I'm looking at. So it just says that only Twitch streamers that have exclusive Twitch contracts are not allowed to multi-stream, which is fine. So, I only question that because affiliate is actually much easier to get than YouTube partnership, and so I would like to, if I unlock it, I'd go for it. I wouldn't necessarily care about partnership though, but like I said, YouTube's gonna be my home, so I'm not, if Twitch wants to riddle itself with ads, Twitch can do that. If you want to watch it, without ads interrupting, you can always just go to YouTube. I don't actually know how the YouTube ad thing works with streaming, most notably because I have YouTube Premium, so I don't ever see ads on YouTube. I know some people have their iffies about YouTube Premium, but I'm just gonna say this. I used to use ad block on YouTube long ago. I'm talking about over 10 years ago. The reason why I did was actually, there was a logical reason behind it. And the primary logical reason was there was one particular ad YouTube was playing that wouldn't play. Just straight up would not play. It was just black screening. And because of this ad, because a video cannot play until an ad finishes, I basically could not watch the video. I would have to keep refreshing the page until it finally gave me an ad that wasn't that ad. And then when YouTube Premium, it was after, it was YouTube Premium. I didn't sign up for YouTube Red. But when it was YouTube, I forget what the reason was that, it may have just been as general as, well, I like supporting the content creators I watch, and I don't, and Adblock does. I know most of them, a lot of them don't care and stuff like that, but, I do like supporting the creators on this platform. So I got YouTube Premium specifically so I don't have to use Adblock. I'm on YouTube literally like 90% of the time. So it's like, I don't watch TV, I don't go to Twitch, right? Like, I just, I don't, so I just, so why not pay? Now it's gone up in price since then, but like, why not? Like, I have my account, my VTubing account, and a friend, my roommate's account, all on it. I can get up to like 10 accounts on it. I want to try and get another friend on it, but we were having issues with like her email and stuff to get it tied to it. And additionally, that supposedly, I've had it for so long that they've added stuff in that I don't know how it affects it. Like YouTube Music gets, because I bought it before YouTube Music was a thing. I bought it when it was still Google Play, right? So, but it's supposedly you get ads on that, similar like Spotify, and I can just listen to it. I don't know how it affects anything else. One other big things too is that you can actually like lock your phone when playing a YouTube video and it'll keep playing, which you can't do without YouTube Premium. That in and of itself is a huge feature because it allows you to like basically podcast a long video, right? So there's a lot of, I say, positives to YouTube Premium, but it in general, it just comes down to how much you're using a platform, right? Some people say don't get Crunchyroll. But if you are just a huge anime fan and just love watching anime, you're watching anime pretty much like every day, why not get Crunchyroll? Speak about the quality of the service all you want. People bitch about YouTube, people bitch about Twitch, people bitch about anything, right? The fact is, money is well spent where you frequently go, right? Or frequently do, right? And if you like, so, that's just my opinion on it. So I got it to support creators without having to run Adblock. And I'm on YouTube so much that it's worth it. But anyways, yeah, so long-winded there, but yes. So I'm going to be looking into multi-streaming. It's a little bit over a month. Like I said, November 22nd is my anniversary. So I'll spend some time, I don't know how much time I can spend, most notably because, I'm still looking for a job and there may be alterations so like I said, I haven't heard anything back yet. If I don't get these 2 jobs, I have to go with my backup plan, which could very well end up even being a night shift, which will just massively change when I can stream, because it basically means that I'll be streaming during middle of the day, which, to be honest, isn't really any different than what I do now, but normally by the time my stream ends, I'll probably actually end much sooner, right? Like, if I, say, work from, like, let's say it's an 8-hour shift and I end at 4 a.m.-ish, right? We'll just ballpark 4 a.m., right? Then I'm coming in for 8, which means that I need to probably go to sleep as late as like noon. Well, that's if I want a good night's sleep, but 2 or 3 would be pushing it. AM or PM, I mean, right? To wake up for 8 p.m. And then, and then go, or no, that's to get to work, right? So just basically knock an hour, everything back an hour, right? or so, you know, hour and a half, something like that, right? So that would obviously have a huge impact. I basically start streaming roughly at around like 6, 7 in the morning instead, right? So, but I won't stop streaming no matter what job I get. This is fun for me. It may cut back on my streaming, but I'll never stop, never, unless like I physically can't anymore, right? It's just I enjoy this a lot. So, with that said, let's get into Grim Dawn and try and get this all wrapped up today. So we need to go into here. The particular let's slay the Mind Reaper. What's the effect here? Casting speed, cooldown reduction. That's actually not that, like, that's probably one of the cleanest ones I could probably get. Hi, guys. Grenade. Grenado! I still can't believe the realization I made that I am actually doing more electric damage than fire damage. I honestly thought I was doing a lot more fire damage. Like, that's not even a joke. Like, I legitimately thought, because fire was so predominant in this build, I did not realize there was so much electrical in this build. I knew there was electrical in it, but I thought it was, like, maybe half or a third of what fire does, but... Personally, to me, though, I'm gonna call out the devs on this one. I think Elementalist is a terrible name for this class combination. Shaman and Demolitionist combined is called Elementalist, but you're not even running the full elemental damage. You don't get cold damage. Shaman is lightning and summons, and Demolition is fire, lightning with a little bit of chaos and physical. So you're not running all the elements by any means. I would honestly call this like Plasma Knight or something like that. Like, no joke, look at Weaver in Guild Wars 2. Look at every number 3 skill that involves a combination of fire. We'll do it right now. That involves a combination of fire and electricity. Okay, we'll look at them all. So on Dagger, fire is Plasma Burst. On Pistol, Purblinding Plasma. On Scepter, Plasma Beam. On Sword, Pyro Vortex. On Hammer, Dual Orbits, Fire and Air, which is pretty much just on par for everything else. Staff, Plasma Blast. Spear, Galvanize. Trident, Plasma Strike. Notice how I won't count Hammer because it's uniform across the whole thing, which is dual orbs, element and element. Only, what was it? Only, it was only even pistol. Which one was it? Sorry. It was sword and sword and spear are the only ones. Keep in mind though that none of Spear's dual attacks actually do damage. So calling it plasma anything is probably not worth it because it doesn't actually hurt the target. It gains might and super speed. Right? So, that one's non-offensive. So the sword's the only offensive fire lightning skill that is not dubbed a pyro attack or a plasma based attack. So just keep that in mind when you're looking, because I know like they always talk about the states of matter. Plasma is a state of matter. It is the fourth state of matter. In school you mostly just learn about solids, gases, and liquids, but fire and lightning do not fit into those categories. I actually had that happen in school. Or someone asked that. I think it was in grade 6. Someone asked the teacher, it's like, well, what would fire be classified as? And I don't think the teacher said plasma then. But she did point out that the student was correct, that fire does not fit within the categories of any of the states of matter. There's the boss I need to kill. But I want to explore. Man, I'm so glad the map is there. I wouldn't be able to see shit if the map wasn't there. No joke, I'm not a fan of like these uber dark areas. And the thing is, I have the Will-O-Wisp mini, which actually extends the light around my character so I can see better. And I can still barely see.
That skill's not ready.
Oh my god. Alright, we'll warp back here, turn it in. The other two quests I have, I know, go towards different locations. This area seems so out of place at day. Because I came here at night, and it really fit the ambiance. Like, it felt like I was in a cave, but it turns out I'm actually not in a cave.
The camp grows silent as the maddening whispers have stopped. You were successful.
Yes.
The preordained hour is upon us. Nothing more remains but to bring our wrath to the Cinder Gates. The primordial foe of our collective existence stirs within the tomb of the Eldritch Sun. See to it that he sees no more dawns. The combined forces of the witch gods are at your disposal, with my servants ready to throw their fates at your feet. They will set forth when you are ready, and our foes shall become a choir of misery as we lay waste to their numbers. Travel far north, beyond the infernal wastes, and into the remains of Corvin City. There the tomb still stands. Within it lies the secret chamber that will take you to realms beyond. Take this sigil. It will open the way to the future I have decreed. Now, hurry.
I'm ready. Okay, so forward we go. Tomb of the Eldritch Sun. So we're heading to the left first. Which makes sense, because that's where all my other quests are leading anyways. Yeah, so map-wise, we'll be heading to this. I guess we're heading to this area first, and then we'll eventually... Well, this is the... probably the area we're going to be finishing up in. I don't have many shrines left. I know that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shrines left. Let's look at the map just to see what locations. So there's obviously one in the Tomb of the Heretic, which is right here. One in the Tomb of the Eldritch Sun, which is right here. One in Sunward Spire, which is over here. We have one in Valley of the Chosen, which is right in the middle here. And one in Ruins of a Beard, which is right here. And the Ruins one, it says it's technically like the next, like it's listing a weird order here, and technically it says that one's next, so that's probably an optional dungeon. I wonder if difficulty in this game plays something akin to like Borderlands, where each difficulty of a character kind of has its own save file. So if I were to pick this character on a higher difficulty, it would basically restart the playthrough but not remove this one. Right, like a true Vault Hunter mode type experience. What a weird little enclave to have. That looks like a really weird icon on the map. And there's a chest over there. Like I'm supposed to be able to do something to get past this lava? Huh. You know, it's another game I've considered maybe playing a little bit is old school RuneScape. Because I used to play RuneScape back in like 2006. Basically, my friends in school got me into it. I was the only one of them to end up buying membership because I played it a lot. But I got it like super early. Like I was like level 13 when I got membership. And they're just like, dude, why are you getting membership that early? Like, you've barely even seen a good chunk of the game. And I just said I like the game and I want to keep playing it. And you know, none of them ever got membership, despite you know getting high leveled and stuff. One of them ended up getting it, but by that point in time, my mom had passed. That was when my mom had passed away, and not only did my dad not have internet, but really didn't have the money to afford. Oh, this is the Ruins of Abyss shrine, by the way. But he also didn't have the money to pay for membership. Also, my dad is like viciously anti-video game, or at least he was when I grew up. He'd get me stuff, don't get me wrong, but he just hated that I spent so much time playing it. But it's not like the dude gave me any alternatives. I was in a dance class, but I didn't particularly like that either. No joke, I used to be in gymnastics when I was little. Me and my sister used to be in gymnastics. Out of the... we both enjoyed it. Out of the blue, we got ripped from it and put in dance class, without our opinions. My aunt would later tell me that this whole idea was to try... it was a method... to try and have us bond, because I guess this is when my parents were having marital troubles. Cool. But, so my parents did divorce. But I just kind of laughed at it, because me and my sister were in different age brackets, so we weren't even in the same class. My parents were adults, so they had to do the adult class, which they could have easily done without us. They didn't need us in, you know, to be there to do it. I did it for a few years. I was so young that I managed to get in a year early, but that meant that I had to do that class like really early, and so there was several different types of dance, and like all of it took place in one class, but you didn't have to participate in all of it. But I was always in the recitals, which are probably the part I didn't like the most. Like, no joke, I didn't really like. I didn't mind like. The only class I really didn't mind was acro. I actually really liked acro, which is pretty much like gymnastics dancing. Just think of it like that. I liked that because I learned a lot, like, you know, cartwheels. I could do one-handed cartwheels. I couldn't get aerials. Maybe I was too much of a coward. I don't know. But I just couldn't get aerials. Aerials are no-handed cartwheels. Basically just side flips, really. I could do front crawls, back. The back crawls were the ones that got me the most because that was nerds as well. But yeah, like I liked acro, but I didn't like the recital aspect of things. And on top of that, being effectively, you know, when it started out, there was probably about like there was always more girls than guys in the class, but there was probably about maybe like 4 or 5 guys, and then every year the number would slowly start to shrink and shrink and shrink until I became the only guy in class. And the problem with that was it started affecting the recitals. So there were 2 recitals with the dance studio I went to, which was story and miscellaneous. So the first recital was pretty much just various dances that fit into some overarching plot they came up with. Meanwhile, the other recital was just miscellaneous. Whatever didn't fit into the first recital was in the second one. And I would generally find myself in the first recital more often than not, which meant that the fact that I was the only guy in the class generally played into an aspect of the song or the dance. So not only was I not the most, I'm not saying I was terrible, but I was not the most talented in the class, but it generally put a lot of pressure on me because it would single me out, which I honestly felt like that kind of thing should go to the people in the class that actually had way more talent than me. There was at least 3 girls I could think of off the top of my head that were way better than me at just performing certain dances or they were part. I mentioned there was the recital, but there was also the competitive aspect. And thankfully I didn't participate in those after a couple years, but yeah, the rest of my friends all did, and or the classmates did, really. I don't know if they were acquaintances for sure. I don't know if I'd call them friends though. We never hung out or anything outside of that class.
I can't do that yet. My inventory is full.
We'll just head back to the entrance because that's where everything is. Yeah, so I would start getting annoyed. I do remember that this was one of those moments where I kind of just took advantage of the fact that my dad was basically never home because he was a workaholic. Yeah, it wasn't really anyone home to make me go. My sister never cared enough to make me go. She would just kind of relay messages, and I effectively, I could walk there. I live close enough to the dance studio, I could just walk to it. So it's not that I couldn't go, it's just that I didn't want to go anymore. But my dad's just like, you're going. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. And he goes, I don't care, you're going. I paid for it. And I go, well, did you consider paying for it? Did you ever consider whether I wanted to go or not before you paid for it? And you know, my dad's the always right kind of person, so it's that's an argument. It's like arguing with the wind, like asking the wind why it blows too hard. You know, you're not winning. So I pretty much, I just stopped going. And I remember I feel bad for the teacher because the teacher was actually rather nice. She was great. But I just didn't want to go anymore. But so the recitals are planned rather early, and I guess, you know, because the teacher makes them up. I guess they're given the idea by who's ever running the recital, and then they have to kind of just act on it. I want to check this one out because we're going to see if the physical damage balances out with the elemental damage. Yeah, just I stopped going enough to the point that the teacher basically just said, yeah, he's not in the recital anymore. And I assume that probably rather frustrated her because she probably had this whole plan. And remember how I said before that a lot of the recitals started factoring in me as a main focal point, much to my chagrin, or whatever the term is. I Again, I didn't like being the center point of the dance. I didn't even want to do the dances after a point. But I started noticing more and more that I didn't like being front and center. Because it also put, like I said, I wouldn't say I was terrible, but I wouldn't say I was great. So the fact of the matter is, it put a lot of pressure on me when a teacher just nonchalantly makes you, it puts a lot of pressure on you to learn any of the tricks you don't know, which... No, there was one where it was the, it was the back... No, yeah, it was when I just learned how to do not front crawl, whatever it is, where you're doing a front flip, but in like a slow, step by step, rather than doing it like, and I basically like just learned and got enough confidence to do that, like just before the recital. That actually is a DPS increase. Excellent. No joke, I also like the armor itself better, skin-wise. Alright, let me go to the bank.
Stashed. I'll hold on to that for you.
See anything you like? See you around.
Right, back to where we were. But yeah, that was like one thing I, to this day, I don't know why I was put in the dances. There are some dances like I remember that I didn't mind. I didn't mind. So first things first, I'll say I didn't mind the dances per se when they were big. When when their classes were larger. I also didn't mind it when I had other guys. But when you're a kid, you're not really paying much attention to that, I guess, per se. But like, there's some things that bothered me, and my mom actually had to talk to the teacher at one point about it, because so one of the first warm-up exercise you would always do, right, was running in a circle. Just running in a circle, get the blood pumping, right? And then, well, the, a thing about this was that for some reason, now this was in my acro class, this only ever happened in acro. There was, I think in total, there was probably about, I'm just trying to think, what were the regulars? It's probably about like 6 or 7 girls in that class, right? And they're all friends with each other, like really good friends with each other. And I always felt kind of left out because I wasn't really, like, I've known them. At least most of these girls had been in almost all my dance classes since I was a kid. So I know them, but I'm just not friends with them. Like, we don't live near each other. We don't hang out. We don't go to the same schools, right? Like, we don't know each other. So, and none of them took any interest in getting to know me. I didn't take any interest in getting to know them. So, why, this is why, so I would just kind of go in and just kind of sit by a wall until class started. But the thing was, I don't know how this started. I never actually asked them at any point, but my mom had to step in because it was kind of making me feel a bit uncomfortable. Was that the girls just started developing this habit of like running away from me. And so my mom actually had to talk to the teacher. It started with a different teacher, I'll say that. Like, it started with a different teacher that while she wasn't bad, I didn't really like her a whole lot. The last teacher I had, that was great. She was wonderful. My mom talked with her, and she just talked to them. She talked to them when I wasn't there, but it just stopped. Like, one day I went into class, and it just stopped. So, obviously, whatever was causing it was just something they were doing, I guess, what they thought was fun. It could have been playing off the fact that I think maybe when we were little, we used to do stuff. Like, we used to play games a lot before our class started. Like there were bars around the room. Like, we would use those for, like, exercises and stuff. And one of the games was like, someone was it, and you had to touch a bar. As long as you were touching a bar, you couldn't be caught. Like, it was sort of like a game of tag. But you also, like, the person that was it basically had the ability to clear a bar. Like, to prevent people from just hugging a bar eternally. So basically they would point at a bar and just say, like, I forget what they would say, but just, like, point at a bar, and anyone touching that bar had to run from that bar to another bar. And, in doing so, they, you know, now the people can get caught, right? So, like, someone would get tagged, and then they would switch places. But we used to do other games like that. Like, I remember, I think maybe at one point we did used to chase each other during the warm-up run and stuff, right? So, like, I think maybe they were just still in that mindset, but I had grown out of it. So, like, I don't blame them. It's just, it felt, it made me just feel like, you know, as someone that went into a class that didn't talk to anyone, you know, you're already feeling a bit uncomfortable. And now your classmates are, you know, just making you feel even more uncomfortable. Right? Like, that was pretty much what it was. Like, but yeah, there were moments, like, in a lot of cases, too, I didn't necessarily mind the dance class. I hated the recital. Like, if I could, like, and that was probably one of the reasons why I liked acro so much, because it was basically just gymnastics. Like, if I could have done everything I did in acro without having to do a recital or any form of, like, dance practice or whatever, I actually would have fucking loved it. Like, every other aspect outside of the dance part of acro was actually fun. Like, I liked doing the tricks, the acrobatics, even the stretches and stuff. Like, it was all. I didn't realize I leveled up. Alright, so I'm now officially capped on that, so now we're gonna max this one. What does the star icon mean? Oh, that means it's linked to something. That's right. Yes. What was I working on here? Oh yeah, the bear. So next level up, I'll put the point into Maul. And then what else? I forget what the other one was. I have it, I still have it in the page, right? I'm just trying to remember. Because I got, what is it? Oh yeah, it was Jackal. One more point, and then it's just going to go into Jackal because I got nothing else to spend it on. And at the very least, that gives me 15 extra damage, like, right for the final boss. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like, like, I don't know. Maybe I grew out of it. I don't know. There's just things I didn't like about it. In the end, I would kind of wish I just stayed with gymnastics, though. I probably would have enjoyed that more. And in the end, I remember it was like, so the first class is always ballet. I only did ballet for a few years though before I decided to drop it. So then I did acro and then jazz and tap. Jazz and tap were in the same class. But after 1 year, I told my mom, I was like, look, I don't want to do jazz and tap anymore. And she goes, that's fine, but your class is on Monday, so I want you to find something else to do on Mondays. And originally, I was actually going to go do some martial arts, like karate or something. My mom even took me to a studio, karate studio. And she wanted me to meet the guy in charge, and I just was too shy. Like, I don't know what, like, granted, I was probably around, like, 10 at this time. Like, I was just too shy. I was so shy. I was, like, hiding around my mom's car. Right? Like, anytime they would try and come to me, I would just, like, keep looping around the car before we just, kind of left. And then I just never did karate or anything else on Monday. And, that's how I got my Mondays back. And, and then kind of like the same thing happened with acro, acro was different. Acro, I just got tired of going. There were now more people in the class that were all like newer people I didn't know, and I was already not talking with the people I did know. So like, why, now I just feel more uncomfortable around these people that I don't know, right? So like, I just basically, I wouldn't even call in or anything. I just stopped going. I just remember my sister, delivered a message. I don't know why they didn't just call my dad. I don't know why my sister had to be the messenger girl for this, but I just know my sister had a lot of dance classes, and she participated competitively for the dance school, so she was there a lot. And, basically just passed on the message and just said, like he needs to decide whether he wants to be in, the recital or not. And I just kept not, and I remember my dad got mad at me and told me, you better start going, and I didn't. And then eventually my sister just comes home and says, oh yeah, so she just said that Damien's not in the recital anymore. And I didn't feel bad about that. In hindsight, I do kind of feel bad because I know she probably put in work for this very specific recital plan. And obviously me not being there ruined it, because I bet you anything, just like in all the previous years, I got centered out. Granted, in hindsight too, I probably could have just said that. Like I said, the teacher was really cool, and I probably could have just said to her, like, look, I know I'm the only guy in this class, but can you not focus me out in the dances because of that fact? Like, it makes me very uncomfortable, and puts a lot of pressure on me, because, I'm not the most talented in this class. There are others here far more talented than me, and you basically push me to have to perform to higher standards simply because you want me front and center in this dance. Right? And that probably could have at least opened up some type of discussion or something, but I just would have been like, look, if you keep putting me front and center, I'm gonna quit. I'll just, like, I won't even show up for the recital. Now, granted, I would show up for the recital, because I know for a fact my dad would drive me, but, like, I would legitimately, like, because, like, we would go, like, attend, because my sister would be in the same recital, too. We would go and attend, and, but the thing is, my dad would just, like, I was old enough that I basically knew where the meeting point was for, like, for my, for the, like, when you're getting close to your dance, you're gonna get in your outfit and go there, and go to a specific meeting point so you can all get ushered in and stuff, and I just wouldn't go. I'd head out pretending like I was going and then just not go. So that, you know, like I did almost miss a dance. I had a dance, and then it was a different dance, and then it was a different one of my class's dances, and I've never been under that time limit before. And I just remember that I was 100% late for the second dance. I had to walk on stage middle of the dance, and because of that, I kind of got flustered and forgot some aspects of the dance. So if you actually watch back on like the recording, because they did film all this, it just like it does not look well. I got a good applause when I came out to bow during the finale, though. Like when I came on stage, they gave me a really big applause, which was nice. But just that I'm assuming this is the one I'm at. Yeah. Didn't I turn that one off? Thank you. I legitimately don't care about the Shattering Realm. The only other thing I did was bowling. Growing up, I did bowling, but not like I was in like a bowling group, or a bowling just like a bowling sport. Like you know, there's various teams, you competition, stuff like that. I actually like bowling. I was in 5-pin bowling, though. I should emphasize that. So for those that don't know, because 5-pin is Canadian only. 5-pin bowling uses smaller balls that are about the size of your hand, or at least an adult hand. The pins are also smaller, and there's only 5 of them, but they're worth more points. So the head pin is 5 points. The 2 pins beside it are 3, and the 2 end pins are 10. Or 2, sorry, 2. So in total, 15 points a frame. So the highest score you could get was 450. Highest score I ever got was 302. Highest score I'd seen, not in person, but just seen the results of, because there is something called bowling off, which is basically like, oh, I'm going to be busy the day of, you know, bowling, which we bowled once a week. So instead what you can do is come in early, bowl your games, and then those scores would just get used, but they couldn't be used for any, like, if you beat your average or something, it wouldn't be factored. Like, none of that stuff. Because, like, I saw a guy on my team once bowled, I was like a 405 or something like that. Like, oh my god. Like, that's probably the highest game he'll ever see himself get in his life. Even when we even asked him about it the next week, the next time we saw him, he's just like, don't even ask me how I did. Yeah, I won a few championships too and stuff, and sadly I was really upset. So when you win a championship, your team, your partner, whatever, depending on if it's teamed or not, will get your plaques and stuff, right? But if you paid attention, you'd know this. If you didn't pay attention, you might not know this. But the bowling alley you go to also gets a plaque that they get to hang on their wall, because they're basically your sponsor. So, like, you are representing them in the league. That is that's weaker though. Lower defense, but it's absolutely stronger. like 71% electric. Yeah. What sucked though was that my bowling alley, just as that season ended, their lease expired. And right before they were about to sign a new lease, the owners of the building basically said, well, you know what? We're just going to up your lease rent or cost or whatever it's called. And the owners of the alley go, no thanks. And they just shut down. So because of that, I was never able to, like, take my friends to the bowling alley and, you know, show them my plaques that would have been there. And because, like, we actually won a tournament. I'm not going to say what it is or whatever, just in case it's, like, doxing related. But I had a partner. It was a 2-person tournament. And we won the entire thing. The highest the best I've ever done in a tournament in my life. I went downhill after that. Yeah, the person I won with was actually my team leader on our in-house league. So, you know, like, I was very familiar with working with her, but I was kind of just friends with everyone anyway, so
I'll give you a good price for what I've got left.
like, everyone in my division, like, we all just knew each other. We were, you know, every week you go in, you're facing a different team in your division, so it's not like you don't know each other. Yeah, I have fond memories of that, because the funniest part was my mom and her parents didn't want us to get psyched up. So to ensure that we wouldn't get, like, overwhelmed or anything or feel the pressure, after a point, they stopped letting us see the scores. So after every game, they would tally up the scores and stuff and post it on a board. They stopped letting us view the board. Now, they were quite blunt about this at first, where they're just like, don't look at the board. Just don't. Don't go anywhere near it. We don't want you guys, like, we want you to just be here and have fun. And, you know, whatever happens, happens. Which was a great, you know, it's a great way to, you know, to push your, you know, your kids into just enjoying themselves, no matter the stake of the tournament. But I do remember, I went to the bathroom and I came back, and my teammate's dad, now, I wasn't going to check my score. I was not. But the ramp down to the alley we were at was actually near the board, the easel that had all the scores and standings and stuff posted on it. And I was just walking by it to get back to the alley. And but I guess he didn't want to take any chances. And he saw me walking by the board, and he just comes up and he puts his arm around me and he goes, "Hey, Daimien, how's the day going?" Right? Like, just like tries to casually divert me away from the easel. Like, in all honesty, I was not going to check my score. I was just conveniently walking past it, but obviously he didn't want to take any chances for me to get psyched out or anything, so. And we won. We ended up winning in the end, it was really nice. Like, that was kind of a surprise. Like, in all honesty, like, I can't even give strategy or anything on that. Like, we just played. And I think, you know, the fact that our parents were really big on just letting us enjoy ourselves rather than focusing on the scores was probably a really huge part of that. Like, knowing that basically they were ensuring as little pressure was put on us as possible, that we just went out and bowled. We kept our focus and we just had fun, and in the end it worked out well in the end. I even had my own balls. So the standard practice when you own 5-pin balls is, despite there being up to 3 balls of frame, you only ever get 2. You only ever have 2. Right? Unlike 10-pin where you have your 1 ball. It's sort of like I guess it would be the same in 10-pin too, because you get 2 shots, but you only ever own 1 ball. You just kind of wait for it to come back, I guess. But yeah, I own 2, and I didn't own my own shoes though. I would always use the alley shoes because I didn't need to own my own. And the bowling balls were a Christmas gift for my mom anyways, so. Yeah, though, bowling was fun. I gave up on bowling, very similarly to dance, where it's like, that was after, like, my mom had passed away. I bowled for 5 years, and it was that 5th year I basically just stopped going. So bowling used to be, like, Saturdays. Depending on your division, it can be, like, super early or, like, midday. But, you know, the division I was in, it was now, like, in the evening of a weeknight. So it was already like after school. And again, my dad's a workaholic, so he was never home. So I rarely ever got rides to the bowling alley. I would only get rides home because my dad would just meet me there. But the fact of the matter is, bowling started at like 8 p.m. Right? Like, it wasn't, you know, and my dad worked a 9-to-5 job. So there's no excuse for him not being home by, you know, by that time. He just never was. It just kind of got exhausting because it was like over an hour walk to get to that bowling alley. And factoring in all that, you know, additionally, you know, like, it's no secret, I've said on stream that I don't give a shit about my dad. So, like, not having a high opinion of the only caretaker you have that's taking you to it. His compliments are, like, so meaningless and hollow to you that, like, there was no fun left in it. Like, you hear stories about, like, how people lose interest in stuff because in some ways they never really had an interest. Like, their parents pushed them to the brink of just do to the point that it's not fun anymore. I kind of almost had the opposite, where my dad was just like, my opinion of my dad wasn't very high, and my perspective on the you know, my opinion of my dad wasn't high, and the processes around it just like if my grandma was the one to take me, then, you know, I probably would have had a more fun time because my grandma was always very supportive of me. Like, if literally almost anyone else was there, like, it just, the vibe was gone. The vibe that I had when my mom used to take me. It slowly dwindled and dwindled and dwindled until it just disappeared. And, my mom managed to take me bowling for 2 years before she passed away. She was there to see me to win. Sadly, she couldn't get to enjoy the prize, though. Prize was tickets to a Blue Jays game. And that wasn't even a winner's prize. That was like anyone that made it to the finals got tickets. You just had to submit, I think it was like a max of maybe 4 tickets per participant. And you had to let them know ahead of time how many tickets you wanted. My mom was there to see me win, but my mom wasn't able to go to the Jays game. The Jays game, no joke, the Jays game was literally the same day as the tournament. Like, when the tournament ended, and then the Jays game was like just a few hours later. So my uncle and cousin, my mom asked them if they wanted to go with me, and they said yes. So they met us at the alley, and they were also there to see me win, which was nice. And then I went with them to the Jays game, and my mom had to go home because of my sister. My sister had something dance related, if I recall correctly, and obviously, like, being a single mom doesn't make it easier, and Not like my dad could do anything, especially since my dad didn't even have a working car at that point in time. My dad also wasn't employed at that point in time either, so, you know. But like that was always a trade-off we had, like growing up. It wasn't something I'm like. Again, I am a being of fairness. I always appreciate fairness, and that was like me and my sister both used to do youth soccer, and like that was, you know, there was a fairness. Whereas like 1 week, my dad would take me to the games and practice, and then the next week, he would take my sister. And my mom would, you know, go with my sister when my dad was with me, and then they would switch. Right, so like that way they both got to see us play and participate in our soccer. The reason why that had to be the case, by the way, was because of the scheduling. My sister and my like practice and games were on the same day. I think like so like if I had practice on Tuesday and games on Thursday, my sister's was the reverse. So she had games on Thursday and practices on Tuesday. Well, I'm in the Valley of the Chosen, but there's apparently a quest in here, so we're gonna go in here. Nothing in here, though. Yeah, that's... Like, I know there's, like... I hear, like, some VTubers talking about, like, these, like, crazy, incredible lives they have. Like, I know, like, Doki's, like, been fucking everywhere, goddammit. And then I'm just sitting here, it's like, oh yeah, I used to do bowling and dance class, and then never leave my house. And it's just like... It's kind of crazy how the tables turn, too, because it's just like... Growing up, I used to bring, like, my Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, whatever, everywhere, right? Like... I'd play it in the car. I would play it, you know, at family events and stuff like that. And like everyone would criticize me. Daimien, you should be more a part of the conversation, right? Like join in. Let's talk with each other. And now that I'm an adult and I understand that feeling now, like I like conversing with people in some topics, right? Like if I go to a family event, I actually go with the intent of talking with people. I don't bring, you know, games and stuff anymore. Now everyone's on their fucking phones. And I'm just like, are you fucking serious? You complained my entire youth that I don't participate. And now all of a sudden, you don't participate when I want to. I wasn't at this family event, but my like aunt took a picture once, and it was like, it must be in the blood or something. It was captions. And what the picture was she took this picture of everyone in the living room, and it was like my uncle, my grandma, my sister, and my cousin all sitting on the couch looking at a various device. Like, my grandma had her tablet, my uncle had, I think, his tablet, and then my cousin and sister were on their phones. and I'm just like... And I remember... So I have an uncle that's handicapped. And like, he's in a wheelchair, but it also affects his hands. It, like... He basically has to have, like, custom utensils and stuff. Like, it's almost impossible for him to just, like, hold things. At least not the way we do. So he We'll get this quest turned in. Because of this, there were some games he couldn't really play. Like growing up, like we'd sometimes have board games, but there were some that he couldn't play. Like he can't hold a hand of cards, for example. So when like games like Jackbox came out, I'm just like, he can use touchscreens. He can use like phones, tablets, etc. So like the first time I came over after a while, I brought it with me, and I'm just like, this is a game you can play. Like, let's play. We can play it together as a family. And no one wanted to play it. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? I try to bring in the one type of game that you're capable of playing and enjoying in the group setting instead of just kind of sitting and watching, and you don't want to play. Beyond those like dance and stuff, I didn't do anything else. Dance and bowling was pretty much it. I don't even remember how I got into bowling, but I did enjoy it. It was fun. I think it was one of those things where my mom just kind of like signed me up for something. Now that wasn't like, obviously that wasn't something. It's like, Daimien, you're signed up for bowling now. Go to it. And no, it was. Like, I think I was obviously asked. Like, my mom, especially being at 10, like, my mom wouldn't just force me into things like that. She's like, hey, do you want to give bowling a try? And I said, sure, why not, right? And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Like, did I actually do anything else? No, I didn't. Music in this area is pretty intense. Something here that we will investigate. I'm not a big fan of the statue enemies that have to construct for several reasons. Number one, they have invulnerability while building themselves, which is really irritating. Second, they are insanely fucking bulky. Now, that could just be on me. They might just resist a lot of what I do, so I can't really complain too much on that one. Hey, Lizrael! And then, but then there's another enemy behind them, which is very irritating. How you doing, Lizrael? Just kind of waiting. I was told I'd hear from one of them on Friday, but it's also a holiday weekend in Canada, so they probably just got way too busy to even message anyone, much less like me or anyone in particular. Like, tomorrow is a holiday. Tomorrow is Canadian Thanksgiving. So like everything's closed. So because of that, everyone has to shop today because, you know, it's generally a family event. So, you know, people got to get their stuff and etc. I spent a good chunk of time on stream talking about my my life as a dancer. Yes, for Canada, it's the second Monday of October, and in America, it's the third Thursday of November.
My inventory can't carry anymore. My inventory
Already,
is
really?
full.
Didn't I just empty this? It has to do with like the harvest and stuff, within the settlers,
storage,
but
no question.
there's a lot of like negativity around it too because of the impact it had on like natives and stuff. But the general consensus and meaning behind Thanksgiving is just being thankful for what you have and those around you. That is the general reason behind it. But like the history of it isn't pretty, but the history of many things isn't pretty. We're gonna get to the point where we're just gonna not have any history because... Oh, fuck. I didn't realize I was talking to the bank. We're not gonna have, like, any history because they just want to remove all the negative parts of history to the point that there just won't be any history left to tell.
I'll keep an eye on this.
I'll see what's left of my wares.
Yep, that's gonna happen. That is absolutely gonna happen at some point. Like, how many former presidents are getting, like, dragged through the mud because it apparently just recently now people care about how they used to own slaves back when that was a thing people just did? Like, I don't condone slavery, don't get me wrong, but, you know, like, people do things because, like, when like, if everyone owns slaves, you're gonna own a slave. Like, that's just how that society worked back then. Even some people, like, wasn't it, like, Thomas Jefferson that said that he didn't like slavery either, even though he owned slaves? And, yeah, that's just because you owned slaves back then. It's not like he could have freed them. Like, they would... The life they had as his slave is probably better than anything they could have had as not his slaves, so... Because people, like, you know, like blacks and stuff, like the people that were slaves back then didn't have rights. So it's like they could either be protected under someone that owned them or just not be protected at all. You know, your choice.
I'll keep an eye on this.
Yeah. Neither am I, in all honesty, but... I just know it, really. I don't really care. My whole thing is just like, I don't like the idiocy behind it all. Like, as we were saying, doomed to repeat it. I just don't like that, like, people are so scared of history that they'd rather, like, white it out than just teach everyone that this was wrong. Like, it was a different time, and it's wrong. It's wrong nowadays. It's not hard to do. Like, it's even happened in Canada. Some places took down statues of, like, Sir John A. Macdonald, who's Canada's first prime minister, because he used to own slaves. Oh, no! Right? Like, someone owned slaves during the era where everyone owned slaves. Can you believe it? That's not a secret, but evidently now it's the time to cancel them. Yeah. Like, all I'm saying is, I'm not defending actions. I'm defending history. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And we as a society should know what happened for the sake of the future. Right? Humanity grows by learning from its mistakes. And if you choose to blank out those mistakes, humanity will never learn. Okay, I'm gonna go this way unless it stops, because Valley of the Chosen is where the path splits. Valley of the Chosen Infernal Wastes, that's where it splits. And I need to head to the Tomb of the Eldritch Sun first, not the Tomb of the Heretic. And so I feel like this is the direction I need to go in. I do not. Is it like a nasty praise, or? I'm assuming what that interprets is that he took a country that had very little and brought them to power. Is that kind of like what that's the meaning behind that phrase? Because I'll admit, I don't know a whole lot about Stalin, but I can understand the meaning behind that. Like, there are just some leaders like that. In certain places in the world, some leaders are literally just viewed as heroes because of that very fact. That they did stuff for their country that either needed to be done or got them into positions or just helped their country. I don't know that one, but I don't know if I want to get too deep into this anymore. I know we're already toting the line. The discussion is, the discussion was about history, right? I don't mind talking about history because history is important, but I don't want it to get too political. Yeah, earlier in the stream I was talking about my time as a dancer and as a bowler. Just kind of going over the arc of history for it. There hasn't really been much to talk about with this game, so... like, it's rather straightforward. I'm just pressing A to win. The journey kind of speaks for itself. I want to look something up. Alright, I was looking at a mod. Because I'm like, I'd love a mod that unlocks all the ultimate... like, all the higher difficulty stuff on normal without, like, the difficulty stuff. But evidently no mod exists. As a matter of fact, people are actually asking for mods that make it so you don't have to play through normal to unlock the higher difficulties. They just want to start on the higher difficulties.
Hello again, my friend.
To say, I was not expecting to find you here so far from Erlin. My hunt has led me to Corvin Basin. Travis is close, I can feel it. He will not evade me this time. Oh, wait. Is this the girl... Is this the girl that we saw over here? By the outskirts?
Hello again, my friend.
Do you remember the flower he left me? It's native to this region. A very rare bloom indeed. Travis wanted me to come here, but why? He isn't far though. So I'll be asking him that myself soon enough. At the tip of a blade. What's your plan? She didn't give me a quest though, oddly enough. Kind of interesting that they tie like these minor side quests kind of lines together throughout the DLCs. Let's be honest though, the first DLC is literally just an extension of the story. The main story ends with dealing with the cult. The second DLC is just an extension of that, dealing with the ether. The ethereals, and then the third DLC is like this, no, that's the first DLC, sorry. The second DLC, the one I'm in, is like its own separate story. It connects to lore aspects, but story-wise, it has nothing to do with the base game. There's no cult, no ethereals, they're just eldritch. A collapsed statue that doesn't come to life and try and kill me? Hi, y'all. Grenade. Grenade. You had to move, didn't you? Grenade. Press that A button. Swing that X. We'll say though, I'm happy with this character and its build. Who are you? Look here, if it isn't one of Cormier's zealots, I'm not here to fight you. There are greater threats about. Have you come to atone for your errors, or do you serve the forgotten god as well? Think you know exactly what I mean. You chose to side with that sad bastard and his loyal band of fools back in Sorrow's Bastion. With your help, he nearly wiped out all of our men stationed there. And look where that's gotten us. Here we are chasing the old fool through the wastelands where he plans to resurrect an ancient god that's bent on vengeance. And it looks like he might just pull it off. So thank you for that. To be perfectly honest, I really wish there was a description that said I joined for the loot. No, of course not. It's not like we tried to warn you or anything. I suppose we were convinced that he found a way to defeat the Cthinians. I think he may have believed that himself. The gullible will believe anything, particularly in desperate times like these, but that's all behind us. What matters now is that you're going to help us stop him. You are going to help us, are you? Of course. Suppose it's good news. I heard rumors of your deeds in the cairn. If any of them are true, it'd be nice to have you on our side now. Do me a favor, stay that way. Stay away from me and my men. After what you did to our brothers in the Blood Grove, I'm sure they'll be on edge around you. To be perfectly honest, I actually wanted to join the Death Vigil. I said this before. The only reason I believed in the Death Vigil's ideals and the way they wanted to handle things. The reason I didn't join them had everything to do with the fact that of the gear types. Death's Vigil specialized in minions, cold, and vitality damage, while these guys literally specialized in physical, fire, and lightning, which are the exact three damage types I use to a T. So it's like I didn't really have a choice if I wanted the better build. And even then, I'm only using the belt. But the belt still gives me +1 to all demolitionist skills, so I still call it worth it. And it buffs my fire and lightning damage. And whatever else based on the random stats that get pulled on it. The first belt buffed physical, this one buffs elemental, which is just more fire and lightning damage. It's a champion that's dead. Oh, I saw lava and I thought, oh, they're attacking me. So have you had any, like, really long shifts since Lizreal? Like any, remember the other time you had, like, some long back-to-back shifts and stuff? Any of that still? Sounds like fun. Is it fun? Are you having the time of your life? Have you gotten in trouble because you've been dancing for joy so often?
My inventory is full.
I did miss... Where's the Tomb of... Probably haven't gotten there yet, then. This is in the Valley of the Chosen, though. At least I'm getting paid fair, question
Come
mark.
see what's left of my wares.
Almost like you don't even know.
See you around. Come see what's left of my wares.
I'll have to see how that compares to my, other rifle. Oh wow, that's like, oh my god, that's better. Oh, it's because like it's fire damage and then a shit ton more fire damage and then plus 2 to all demolitionist skills. What the fuck? This is like a fire menace. Okay, well, let's get the thing on it. But I'm still going to hold on to my old one, just like I did before, just because there's sometimes a tendency that that might be too much fire damage. It's a lot of bonus damage compared to what I was doing, but it's just like... second. No, I did that one. Because I should have the devotion point, right? Or did I spend it? I couldn't have done it. Because there's only 3 devotion points left if I do that, and I haven't put any into Jackal yet. Okay, we're gonna backtrack here. Look, I'm just hoping to get, like, I'm hoping to get one of the 2 jobs that I applied for, but if not, I have a backup plan. The only problem, and I was saying this earlier, Lizriel, so I do have a backup plan for a job. However, that backup plan may very well end up having me work nights, which means that I will likely not be streaming at the times I normally stream anymore. Oh, that's just the economy we're in, right? Pit of Atonement. What am I doing here? Hey, achievements. That was it. That was the fight. Right, I need to head back to... At this point, I should just go to the bloody portal. I did get it. So there's one here, and one here. But what am I missing? Because that means I only have 3 points left. Which means I miscalculated because I get 1 point into the bear skill here. And then that means I only get 2 points into Jackal. But I have evidently miscalculated here. Oh, this sucks. Oh well. Might just see what else I can invest points into then, rather than Jackal, because the 15% damage is on the last tier. Yeah, I should go hand in that messenger quest, huh?
Welcome back.
Banish the messenger? Then why do I sense presence? Why does its fury still cloud my vision? Perhaps it cannot truly be killed, at least not by any means known to us. I believe you, but there may be something we don't know about this. I'm concerned this is not the end to its malice. I'm pretty sure it's dead. I trust you. You seem certain that you killed it, but death may not be the end of this foul creature of Korvac. Perhaps it is its connection to the forgotten god that allows it to endure, or perhaps it is rage manifested, such purity of raw emotion that it wills itself to endure beyond mortal wounds. I must discuss this with the elder seers. Thank you for assisting in this matter. For now. Right. And just fast forward through that a little. Alright. I don't know what Fate of the Bloodsworn is, and I don't know where to go to do it or anything, so I'm just gonna kind of ignore it. Bye. Here's the next line. We'll start. God, I hate these poison enemies. Go away, come on. Right, got that one. We can now finish the bear. Right, so I get some lifesteal back again. Now, if there's only going to be 2 more points, I should just look for some, like, entry-level stuff, then. Like this one. 1 point, 40% physical damage. And I know I have this one where 1 point is 15% elemental damage. Those seem like... Oh, look at that. There's a 1-pointer, 40% elemental and ether damage. I don't do ether damage, but I'll take that. So, I guess 1 point into the Phoenix and 1 point into... What was the other one? It was this one here, right? The Olzad. Herald of Korvac. So I can at the very least get 40% more damage on the damage types I use. Which is actually better than I would have gotten.
That's locked.
There's a split path here, and I just want to know... Okay, we're going north first. Because there's an optional dungeon that way. This is the way I need to go. I want to go the optional way first. Sweet. Another achievement. Oh, I'm in a 3 area. What's this? Plus 2% to all resistant or maximum all resistances. Total damage modifier. So they do more damage. And they do ether damage.
Skills not ready.
I think those big guys might have fire resistance. Would probably explain why the rifle's taking so long to kill them. The first 2 floors of this place aren't actually that big. I had a lot of statuses on me at one point. I think I had like 7. I had enough statuses that it had to overlap to a second row. Thankfully, I don't think most of them were damaging status effects. Most of them seem to be like I saw chill there, which is I think just a movement speed effect. Well, no, they're actually I think that's a DOT as well. But I just have so much like regen and lifesteal that as long as I just keep swinging my weapon like Toby Fox swings, not Toby Fox, what is it? What's his name again? The YouTuber. Toby Turner can swing a diamond sword. Hi, cat. What can I do for you other than get you food? Because if it's food you want, you're not getting it. I'm sorry, but you only ate not that long ago. Fed all you guys before I started streaming, which was only 2 hours ago. There's no possible way you're that hungry. Not with all the fat on you. Should emphasize that Merlin, the cat I'm talking to right now, used to be able to fully jump up on the kitchen counter. Now he has to jump on a chair before he can get on the kitchen counter. So if you're wondering the length of fat he has, is he cannot actually jump on the kitchen counter directly anymore. So when I say he doesn't actually need to eat, I'm actually being serious. Leveled up. I will deal with that the moment I stop getting attacked, which doesn't happen very often in these types of dungeons. Yeah, I don't think I'm not gonna get anywhere near level 100. I'm just gonna say that. So I'm not gonna be getting all my stuff maxed. I don't even think I'm gonna get the skill I'm currently working on maxed. As nice as that would be. At the very least, once they're all dead, they're dead, and they can stop fucking showing up out of bloody fucking no. Oh my god, come on, stop! Let me collect loot!
Skill's not ready.
Why can't I move? What the fuck is going on? Sometimes it just feels like the battles really just, like, don't end. This is the last floor of this temple, this dungeon, by the way, this domain.
My inventory I can't carry anymore.
Okay. Well, we're getting out of here, so I can sell all of this again.
Got something you need stashed?
No, I don't, because I don't want to come here. I want to
It's safe.
sell.
Promise.
I don't know why I keep going to you first.
you around. See you around.
Books. Don't want to sell that.
Iron well spent.
Hey Merlin, how you doing? You coming back to beg me for food again? Because you picked up the lessons of Keith of coming to get my attention, walking away thinking you got it, you didn't, and then you come walking back down the hall to come and get it again. The only thing you're missing is Keith's, like, ridiculously loud meow. I'm not even kidding. Keith had, like, the worst, like that kind of meow. So that's more physical damage, but it's less fire damage, and I think in the long run that's actually going to... Oops, my bad.
See anything you like?
In the long run, I think that's not going to be, I don't think this is, like... It's actually also weaker defensively, too.
Put it to good use.
Got something you need stashed? I'll keep an eye on this.
Right, and we keep going. I'm actually nearing the end on this dungeon. Like I said, it's just over here. Yo! Got a champion and a boss. So let's take out the champion. Take out all the extra ads. And then I just got a boss I can wail on. I win. I don't really know what this was for, because this wasn't a part of the main story by any means, but... And I evidently do not have a quest tied to it either, so... And this just takes me right back outside. You know what's something that's really dumb to me, though? Let's look at the map here. We're going to go to this side here, and we're going to look specifically at this area here, by Twin Falls. Remember how there was a bridge here that was broken, that basically forced us to take this whole route around to the Jagged Waste before we could get to Homestead? Well, here's the thing. There's a group of soldiers right here that couldn't fix the bridge. But yet, not only did I have to end up going all the way around, go south by myself to fix the bridge, but if you actually know the zone, it's a danger zone. It's a domain zone, meaning it's a difficulty area. So you have to go through a harder area than what they are in to fix the bridge by yourself. Like, I don't know if that shows their laziness or incompetence or what. Like, I don't get it. But it's just, like, that was just something that always kind of like just like made me think. It's like they're just all idiots, aren't they? Like, you're gonna lay on my floor like that? I'm absolutely gonna rub my foot on your tummy.
You must be the pawn my sister's been sending around to do her sleuthing for her. And now here you are, and she's nowhere in sight. I must say I'm rather disappointed that she could not have bothered to show herself, especially at the moment of my victory. Unfortunately for you, you're standing in my way, and I simply cannot abide by that.
And so, my misguided child lies dead, far from the land of his birth. I've witnessed many of my progeny perish over the centuries. Such is the curse of my existence, but none stung as much as this. I thought myself above his pain, that my pursuit of atonement superseded his naive ignorance.
I highly doubt there is a way to convince
I
you
see
otherwise,
now.
so...
I was wrong. In my hubris, I created a monster. The force of my own undoing.
Travis
He was
super
consumed by his hatred for me. In another life, perhaps he would have stood by my side as we sealed this tomb forever. I'm afraid now...
Alright, see you later, Lizreal. Thanks for dropping by.
I've witnessed the passing of centuries. But
Have a good
now
night.
I find myself wishing I had more time. When Dravis confronted me at the temple steps, I saw the madness consuming his soul. But I also saw the anguish that I had wrought upon it. Dravis was unwilling to listen to reason. I erected the barrier so that he could not enter the tomb by any means. But I could not bring myself to strike down my own child. Now my powers are nearly spent. The souls flowing through my veins seek their release. I sense that my time has finally come. It appears that you and I had similar goals. The evils within this tomb must not be set free. I will lower my barrier, enter the tomb of the Eldritch Sun, and complete my task. Vanquish the...
Hello again, my friend.
And I'm already too late. I haven't seen this pendant in decades. Father would never part with this unless... I'm sorry. He's dead. I had a feeling. A discomfort in the back of my mind. He confronted Dravis and gave his life to stop the madness he had seeded within his child all those years ago. What of Dravis? Did he survive, or did he have a part to play in all this? Dravis, Two Lies said. I wonder if you could save Dravis then. I just chose to attack him, but... Oh, I will not deny I feel conflicted. A part of me yearned for another meeting between us, but I am glad it's over. Dravis had become consumed by vengeance and power. It is for the best. What's done is done. I thank you for bringing this pendant to me. It offers some closure regarding my father, even if it isn't the closure I wanted. Where do you go from here? Mrs. Dravis was driven by rage burning within him. I felt a purpose in this hunt that I hadn't sensed in a long time. But that is over now. I will travel back to Homestead to see my little girl again. I'm not sure I can ever fully return to that life, though. I hope Oliver will understand.
Go no further! Your fate is death!
8 to win, let's go. The victory music is really weird. It's not like Final Fantasy where it pops in like... where it like pops in every so often. Like after every like boss fight. Like even in 12, like after every boss fight, you get the Final Fantasy music. Like that thing. So it just seems weird that you, like, that's good victory music. I just wish it played after every like story of it related boss and not just specific ones. I didn't even get that when I beat like some of the main story bosses. That guy wasn't even a main story boss. Well, he's in the main story, but he's not like a... He's not like an end boss type character. Boom. I'm almost done. This is the second last, like, major temple. I only have 2 shrines left, which also tells me I'm almost done. So basically, map-wise, I have this area, and then we're gonna end up going into the Maw of Apesh and going further up into the Tomb of the Heretic. That's where it says the last shrine is, so... That's a boss. He's coming my way. I think. Well, I'm honored in the cult of Grieg, which I think was my primary cult. Because the other two should be evenly matched, since the same things level them up, so I would have double leveled. Hi, boss. Look, the skull next to your name doesn't compare to my press 8. I'm sorry. I haven't seen the shrine pop up on the minimap yet, so... You know what kind of boss I'd like to have again in a game? A boss like Nakayama from Borderlands 2. I just like, you know, in hindsight, like, I just really like the idea of this boss that knows how dangerous you, actually knows how dangerous you are. Tries to act tough, but is absolutely just, like, deeply rooted terrifying. Additionally, the fact, like, Nakayama's own hubris was his downfall in the long run, because the thing is, he had this plan that probably very much could have worked if he just shut his mouth. We didn't know he was there. He chose to, well, like, we were slowly figuring it out, but he chose to get himself more involved than he needed to be. It would have probably taken us longer to figure things out. He basically chose to challenge us. And through that challenge, he lost, right? Like, he was so kind of excited to be actually, you know, fighting the Vault Hunters that, you know, took on Handsome Jack. Right? Not realizing what that was actually going to cost him in the end. But I just like this idea of just having a villain that is just, like, actually terrified of you. Like, especially in a game like Borderlands, where it's so refreshing, where everyone and their mother constantly thinks they're going to be the next one that's going to be able to kill you. When you just suddenly have a track record that shows, no, I'm pretty sure we're the most dangerous people here right now. Yeah, going more into lifesteal and health regen was probably one of the smartest moves I've had. With this character, because I was struggling for a bit, and now I'm not really struggling. I struggle enough for where the potion can basically balance me out if I need it to. And if it still can't, then you got Constitution, right? You got Dodge, right? You got, like, tons of things that can just kind of help balance you out. Hi, everyone. Like, my regen seems to straight up just be, like, not even, like, getting bothered by DOTs. Like, I'm watching my health not even tick, and I only watch it stutter when I have, like, 4 of them on me at once. Or, like, high damage ones.
My inventory is full.
I watched as I had...
I can't carry
Fuck
anymore.
off. I watched as I had, like, what was that? Frostbite, burn, and something else on me, and my health wasn't even going down.
Come see what's left of my wares. See you around. Put it to good use.
Oh, whoops. A lot of one-handed swords and stuff. Actually, I'm looking at this. That's more defense for sure. The real caveat comes down to the so lightning plus elemental is going to give me like over 80% lightning damage, and then I get fire damage. So this should be a DPS increase. Yes, it was. Okay, so we'll fix the gem there in a second.
Put it to good use.
Save storage. No questions.
Right, we'll sell
Come
these
see what's
things.
left of my wares.
I guess the shrine's not on this floor. Shrine is on this floor, and I pretty much have to walk by it to get to the next staircase. Wanted to make sure I popped the portal just in case. I know I had one on the previous floor due to selling stuff, but like when I get to these multi-floor dungeons, I always try to remember to pop a portal on each floor just so like I don't have to fight my way back to the floor, or like not even fight because everything's dead. I just have to meander. Just meander my way back. And after this stream, I gotta remember to get the Black 2 thumbnail going. Or Pokemon Black and Black 2. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if I'll be able to get that one done in one stream. It really depends. Because, like I said, I've only ever played it once. I've only ever played the Gen 5 games once. Like, I have no intention of fighting older. Like, because I know that's like the second time through the Elite Four. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. It depends on like what other, like if there's actual like, oh yeah, there is post-game story stuff, right? You have to go apprehend all the sages, right? Yeah, so I'll be doing that because that's actually plot relevant. The same, like, I do intend to fight Colress in Black 2, because that's also plot relevant. Both of which, by the way, I've not done. I've played both Black and White. Or Black and Black 2, but I've never actually done the post-game stuff. I kind of just stopped after I beat the game. I'll tell you though, like I've said before, but I don't know how it's gonna turn out, but I'm actually excited for Black 2. Like the team I have is actually. Whether it works or not is one thing, but I feel like it's actually kind of creative. So I'm gonna go with the elemental damage one first. Because that's both lightning and fire, so it's higher DPS. And then the last shrine I get will be physical.
So now you understand that I did what I had to.
Oh, I see how insane you are.
To understand. Everything I've done has been to save humanity. Yes, Korvac exacts a price upon our very souls, but it is a price I'm willing to pay to stop the ravages of the Void.
Who are
I
you to
am the
decide
only
humanity's
one with
fate?
eyes open enough to see that we run out of options. If it falls to me to make this difficult choice, then I will gladly bear it.
This is absolutely going to be a multi-phase fight, right? Nope.
You disappoint me, Kaiman.
So does that mean Father Kaiman is now dead? Like, if I now go to here, because this game's been pretty good with this. Like, if I go here and go in here, Father Kaiman shouldn't be here. Father Kaiman was in here, but I don't see him anywhere now. Change yourself, brother. I've heard all the praises. Kaiman has made a deal with a primordial, not an Empyrean. Speak blasphemy. I will hear no more of this nonsense. Purge your mind of your wicked ideas. You don't understand. I saw it with my own eyes. Our prophet has brought us hope in desperate times. Will not allow you to tear his work apart. Leave him be. Yeah, so they're just all delusional. Yeah, I only joined because of the
wares. Come see what's left of my wares.
I'm nowhere near this tier though to get the next belt. While I'm here though. So yeah, he's not here anymore, and they just won't believe it.
Iron well spent.
You'll buy powers beyond your comprehension. Use the sigil.
After all these centuries, the usurpers dare not even show their faces.
I don't know what this quest is. Or we're just gonna hide it, because I don't really intend on doing it right now. I must have found it by accident through, like, reading lore or something. Sometimes those things give you quests. Hi, guys. That's one thing I really like about this game, though, is that continuation, the continuity of NPCs. Like, I just killed Brother Kaiman, so now I go back to the base. He's not there anymore. And there's new dialogue that no one will believe because they're too devoted. Like, I've not really played games that had this kind of continuity in them. Like, it's nice. It's nice to know that, like, people are paying attention, basically. Like, in some games, I guess I can understand it because it doesn't make sense, right? Like, there's reasons it won't make sense. But like, you need an NP... Like, obviously in MMOs, for example, like, just because someone dies doesn't mean they can't still appear in the overworld. Depends on the MMO, of course, but it just depends on where it takes place in the overworld. To keep in mind that in, like, Guild Wars, for example, certain NPCs that do die, like Traherne, for example, are never in the overworld. They're always in instances. Like, even with, like, Kaith, for example, you can go into Kaith's house, and Kaith is there, you can talk to her, but all her dialogue is very, like, entry level. You can go into Air's house, and Air is there, right? Despite the fact that she's dead. Right? And it's just, you know, you can go into... Now, some of it depends, like, you can go into the research lab and Zoja's there, but I think that depends on your race. She's not always there. Hey Merlin, have you caught on to the fact that despite the fact that you've been meowing for the past half an hour, I've not actually moved? Perhaps you would have taken this as a sign that I have no intention of getting up and feeding your food addiction. Evidently not. Merlin, you don't need food every 3 hours. Like, come on. I cannot pop a portal here. Is that Kaiman? Our Korvax are, yeah. This is absolutely a multi-stage fight, right?
Can't do that yet.
Like, there's no way this is a one-stage fight.
That skill's not ready.
I died. I had a single moment of looking away. He probably has health regens. I gotta get back there fast. Before he regens all his health. Thankfully, the effect they have here is not actually that bad. So this time I'm actually gonna... I can't pop a portal in Korvac's room, but I can pop a portal right outside the entrance to it. So... Oh, wow, he did not regenerate that much of his health. If he did regenerate any at all. I like how I only got 75 reputation for effectively killing a god. The Oracle has seen a path he must follow. What does the Emirates want me? The strings swirl in black smoke. The truth is unknown. Speak with him if you want to learn more. Oh, the conclave of the three. Sorry. the beginning.
Korvac's anguished cries have echoed across realities. His cult has been crushed. Even now, his scattered followers are being hunted down and eliminated. The forgotten god will soon be a distant memory. Without a vessel, his powers will wane, and he shall fade into nothingness. Never again will the people of Cairn have to fear for their lives at the mercy of Korvac's fickle temper and destructive malevolence. Know that the witch gods are grateful for your sacrifice, even if they do not thank you in person. Wherever your journey leads next, their eyes will be upon you.
What will the cults do
we
now?
must ensure that none of Korvac's followers survive what happened here. If belief in Korvac persists, then a spark of his being shall remain. We must snuff it out while we can.
He'd never be a threat again.
Korvac will never again be a threat of the magnitude we faced this day. That I promise you. Without a vessel to contain his primordial form, his powers will wane. And should he ever hope to return to Cairn, the witch gods will see. Do not think to believe the snake tongue of that being. It spreads naught but lies. The Eldritch Realm is the domain of the three, now and forever. Let us just say that I was once a young priest in the service of men here, believing myself righteous, but my eyes were opened by the witch gods. When they forged their covenant, I offered myself in service. My actions saw the cults flourish beneath the Empire's gaze.
Wait. How do I get to the Tomb of the Heretic? Wait a minute. It says I need the 3 seals of Monaga. Don't I already have 2 of them? Is that the seal that I have?
Safe storage, no questions asked.
It is, yes. Okay, so I actually do need these then. I remember I said I wasn't going to do the... Right.
It's safe with me, promise.
Hidden path south of the Corvin Sands Rift Gate. On the west side of the... Oh, I think I might know. I want to get all the base shrines. This is one of those dungeons that has like a skeleton key to it. I don't care about doing that. I just want to get the shrine, which is usually always in the entrance area. I don't even need to do the quest. Evidently, I can get like... There's a quest tied to these seals, but I don't even need to do that. I just need to get the seals. You not. Okay, so I think that might be where I need to go. Never mind. I'm like completely off. It says south of this waypoint, but it's actually like not even in this zone. It's not in the Corvin Sands, it's in the Corvin Plateau, which is south of here. But it's like close to the border. Right here. It's just that easy. Okay, it's gonna bother me, so I'm just gonna go... Before I head into the dungeon, let's just uncover the other area. I thought that was where I had to go, and this was just gonna be like a circle. Like, I kind of figured I wouldn't need to do any of this because, like, I'm following the shrines based on order of what the game perceives as slow resistance. Okay, that's fine, because I don't slow. Like, the guide thing that's putting them in order of access, heaven forbid I didn't think he'd put, like, I didn't think he would put, like, a fucking optional one behind a main story one. But thankfully I don't need to do any quests or anything tied to this. I just need to get the seals, and that should unlock, I can use them to unlock the path. Or what the wiki's saying anyways. Would have made the boss way easier though if I had access to, you know, 40% more physical damage. Just saying. At the very least, though, we can say that Kaiman's Chosen, despite what Kaiman did was wrong, the Chosen don't actually believe in Corvin, because he tricked them into believing they were worshiping a different god, which means that they're effectively, like, not guilty of anything, right? Like, their actions, you know, are one thing. But at the very least, all those in Kaiman's Chosen believe that they're worshiping a better god. Yeah, so once this stream's done, I won't be coming back to Grim Dawn for, God knows how long, at least 2025. That's when the next DLC drops. Oh, I've reached Hated with Eldritch Horrors. I'm gonna need to go sell stuff, though.
My inventory is full. I can't carry anymore.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't actually have to backtrack. Oh. Right, let's go sell stuff.
See anything you like?
we'll just go do this, and then we're done. Like, I don't want to do a harder difficulty. I don't want to do, I'm not that interested in playing another class. If I do, I'd probably just do it off stream. Like I said, I wouldn't mind, like, trying out a mage class or like a minion class, because that's actually, like, very different from what I ran here.
Put it to good use.
Got something you need stashed?
Yes, I do, good sir. Oops.
I'll keep an eye on this.
Not realize that was a book.
I'll hold on to that for you.
I'm going to assume it's this area over here. This isn't domain. Considering I had to go through domains to get the stuff to access this place. I'm wondering if I can hit 68 before this ends. Probably not, though, because like I said, I don't intend to actually fight like any actual bosses. Oh, there's a teleport up here too, that's good. I feel like with a name like Lost Oasis, it'd be kind of cool if there was an NPC here that just like has been here for years. They got lost here and they've just never been able to get back. I don't think dinosaur-like creatures that are that big would effectively be in packs this size. No way. The only reason they'd be in packs that size if it was necessary for survival, which means that they'd probably be trying to take out things bigger than themselves and would need the extra effort to do so. I will say the music does feel like it kind of fits this lost area. I wouldn't say it really fits a desert feel, but it fits this like mysterious, like, where am I kind of area. I have a 100% chance to hit, so my misses are only coming from enemies that are just have the ability to dodge. All right, so this is the map that the shrine should be on. If I don't have a skeleton key, I'm not getting through that door. Wherever it is, I don't care. I just want the shrine. Shrine piece. Is, but it'll show up on the map when I get close, so. Oh, and there's the shrine. It is the last devotion point I can get on this difficulty. I know I don't really need to be in. I'm just gonna try and like map out the zone in the hopes that I'm very close to 68. I'll get out when I'm at level 68. I'm very close to 68. And then that would, like, whenever I come back to the game, that would be perfect. Like, start the game back up at, like, a fresh new level. Sort of like rare candying your team right before you, Yeah, I learned the other day that there's actually a ROM hack out there that will, if you cheat in rare candies, right before you enter into you beat the champion and enter into the league, the police catch you and throw you in prison, for, cheating. Like an illegal rare candy operation or something. I feel like it's just kind of dumb. Like, oh, I guess it all depends. I am not against rare candies if the game actually provides you with an opportunity to passively level. Like, I can guarantee you once I get to Gen 6, I probably, like, I'll have rare candies just for the sake of it, but I might not actually even need them. You know, as long as I just keep battling, like, if we look at my Ultras, like, remember when I played Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, like, the stab-only challenges? I didn't rare candy. Maybe I did a couple times, but, like, I also didn't need to cheat them anyways, because I had infinite BP, and, I could just buy them. I did level, by the way. But I feel like I'm almost done mapping this zone, so... Don't worry, my dude, I get you. Alright, we'll head to Devil's Crossing. I am curious as to where the DLCs... from what I understand from, like, pictures I saw, it seemed to be, like, snowy. So, it looks like it might maybe branch off from one of these areas here. Maybe go into the, like, mountain areas to the west. Or maybe they could do what they did here, and maybe it just goes to a tundra area, and they just add like a barricade area in this corner.
Come see what's left of my
Alright,
wares.
my last cell. what was that? 1,200 armor? Nothing good offensively, but...
Iron well spent. I'll give you a good price on what I've got left.
Nope.
See you
Alright, we'll
around.
go bank this stuff, and then that will be that.
I've heard the incredible news. You've actually done it. You
Actually, we'll head
struck
to
the
Homestead
heart of the
after.
ethereals and Malmouth and won. Maybe it's just a dream, but perhaps someday we can return to Malmouth and even rebuild.
Got something you need stashed?
Because I want to check in on the girl that went back to Homestead.
It's safe with me, promise.
Let's see if I can find her here. I don't see her here, so did she not come back to Homestead? I see an Oliver out there. Didn't she mention an Oliver? I think she's run off the Malmouth. What? How? Oh, the gods, the girl will be the death of me. If I see her again, if you see her again, please tell her to come home. Malmouth is no place for a young lady to be on her own. Too often, I'd say, the world is crumbling around us and the girl's head is in the clouds. Oh. That's that. So, next scheme, I think I said I was going to do Dust and a Listing Hail. To replace this one, and I'll probably just keep the third slot open, like probably just do some more like Genshin catch up and stuff like that while I wait for Ys to come out and stuff, right? So But yes, so do Pokemon tomorrow, do and Dust later. But with that said, I'm gonna call it here. My name is Daimien Kamiya. I am the Omni King. Be a friend, foe, or a member of the Omni Council. I'll see you later. Goodbye, everyone.